Hi there, I'm Lee from Ignite Your Being. Today's session is all about combating the problems of our desk. So a lot of us spending a lot of time in this hunched forward position where we get tight shoulders, tight pecs, often a sore back, tight and weak hip flexors and tight hamstrings. So today's session is to stretch those areas out and also add in some strengthening exercises. Okay. So I invite you to start in an easy cross-legged position. Now you're not going to need any equipment for today's class, other than the fact that if you do struggle to sit cross-legged, you might want to sit on a little bit of a height. Okay. So let's begin by just connecting to our breath. Just close your eyes for a moment and just see if you can take some soft, steady inhales and exhales through your nose. And maybe just using that inhale to find a little more lift in your spine. And use your exhale to find a little release around your neck and your shoulders where we often hold that tightness and tension. Taking a slightly deeper, longer inhale and a slightly deeper, longer exhale. One more breath in that way. And after your exhale, just opening your eyes. And we'll start with a nice neck stretch. So just taking your right ear towards your right shoulder, stretching the left hand away, just encouraging that stretch through the left side of your neck. Now you can stay in this position, or you can play with adjusting your chin. So by moving your chin down and up, it's just going to alter that stretch. And each of those are going to have slightly different tightness and tension areas. So just have a little play, keep stretching into your left hand, keeping that right ear going towards your right shoulder, and just encourage a little bit of movement. Now for a simple stretch, it can feel quite strong, so just gently release yourself out, and then let's go the other way. So left ear, ooh, a little bit of crunching towards the left shoulder. Stretch away with your right hand. And either pause in this position or have a little play at taking your chin down or your chin up. And it sure can feel nice in a little bit of a sadistic type of way. That's it. And maybe just one more up and down if you're including that movement. And then again, just carefully release out of the stretch. Now just keep balancing your body. Try swapping the cross of your legs. So if you had, whichever leg you had in first, swap the other leg in first. And then with an inhale, raise your arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe take a look up towards your hands and feel that lift in your belly, that lift in your lower back. And place your right hand to the floor, take a side stretch over to the right. Encouraging that stretch through the left side of your body, but keeping your chest nicely opened. And let's sweep this arm forward, taking it behind. Let's take a twist to the left. Encourage your left shoulder to roll back. Pull gently with your right hand to encourage a bit more twist through your body. And as you come back to center, let's take another inhale, sweep the arms up, look up, reach up. And then left hand to the side, right arm over by your ear. Take a bit of a side bend to encourage that stretch through your body. And then take a little sweep forward, take your right hand behind, left hand to leg, take a twist to the right. Rolling right shoulder back, gentle little pull with your left hand to get a bit more rotation. And then releasing back to center. Let's find an all fours position so we can come into cat-cow. So hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. With an inhale, looking forward, dropping your belly, finding an arch in your spine. And with your exhale, push the ground away, rounding up through your spine, tucking your tailbone as you do. Again with an inhale, dropping belly, finding the arch, lifting your seat bones high. And with an exhale, pushing the ground away, rounding, tucking tailbone, tucking chin. One more time. Inhale, dropping belly, arching through your spine. And with your exhale, push the ground away, find that roundness. Now finding your neutral spine, drawing your knees together, sit back towards your heels, and we're going to do a child's pose position but with knees together to get a little bit more of a back stretch. Now for some people, they get a lot of forward flexion. You'll be able to bring your forehead to the floor and maybe bring your arms down by your side. If this causes quite a bit of stretch in your back and it feels a little bit uncomfortable, then place your hands on top of one another and drop your head. I'm suffering today with a little tightness in my back, so for myself personally, this is feeling so much more comfortable. Take a few soft breaths and just see if you can let your spinal muscles soften and relax. One more deep breath in and out. And then raising your head up. Let's come into Garudasana, whereby we bring our arms forward and bend at the elbow. Take your right arm over your left, and your aim is to wind the arms around. Now if you're tight in your upper back, you may need to hold something. You may be able to get hold of a pinky. You may be able to bring your hands together. So just find your position. See if you can raise your elbows up and your hands away from your face. So you make a little bit of a 90-degree angle and you're getting this lovely stretch across your upper back. Taking a breath and a release. Now let's do some circles. So with an inhale, raise the elbows up and let's go clockwise around in as big a circle as you can. Dropping the elbows down, around to the left and then back up at the top. One more circle. Keeping your breath soft and steady. Taking as big a circle as you can, encouraging that stretch across your upper back. Okay, now releasing the arms, let's cross the other way. So left arm over right, holding wherever you can. Elbows are lifted, hands are away from the face. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Let's go anti-clockwise in those big circles. Just embracing that stretch across your upper back and your shoulder. And release. Okay, hands on the floor, back onto all fours, lift into a down dog. So tuck your toes, lift the knees, lift the hips high. You may want to have a stretch through your calves. Maybe get some more movement through your shoulders. And then let's just pause in your down dog. So spreading your fingers, push the ground away. Really encourage that length through your spine. And as you lift your seat bones high, maybe see if you can put a little more weight into the balls of your feet and direct the weight backwards so there's less weight in your hands. Really trying to get that lift in your spine and that weight back. Now place your left foot more centrally, raise your right leg up towards the ceiling. And again, push away into that foot so you get that length through your spine. You're probably feeling that a little bit more in your left hamstring now. Now bend your right leg, let's twist into a scorpion style position. So your right foot is going over to the left, your chest is turning to the right. Encourage that rotation through your body. Now your right knee is going to go to your left elbow in a little bit of an oblique twist. So into a plank position, elbow is getting tapped with a knee. You come back to your scorpion position. Back to your plank, slight twist, knee to your elbow. One more time. Twist into your scorpion. Take your knee to your elbow. And then raise that leg back up centrally. And you're going to come forward into a lunge. So right foot comes forward. If it needs a helping hand, bring it forward. Keeping your left hand on the floor, take your right hand up to the ceiling for a nice stretch. Keep pressing away into your back heel, reaching into your right fingers. And then you can lower this hand, take your right foot a little bit wider, and then hands to the floor. See if you can push your left hip a little closer to the floor. Now if you've got a fair bit of flexibility in your hips, you can start to lower where you may get your left elbow to the floor, you may get your right elbow to the floor, or you may need some props. If you're a little bit tighter, by all means just stay up in this position, squeeze your left glute to push your left hip a little closer to the floor. So just where you can go today. And every day will be different. Just pause for a moment. Okay, now hands back to the floor. Drop your back knee, come more into a 90-degree position with the legs. Back toes are tucked, interlace your hands and push the hands to the floor. And try squeezing your left glute to drive that left hip flexor forward. And you can either stay here or you can push the hands away, arch a little and get some more stretch through the front of your body. Keep pushing down with your left toes, keep driving your left hip forward. And then carefully come back upright. Now take your right foot wide once more, take your left hand fairly wide and just shuffle your left knee back so you're more onto the base of your thigh rather than on your actual kneecap. Raising your back leg up, see if you can take hold of your foot. Now the aim is to roll your right shoulder back so you get an openness there. Pushing your right knee out to the side to get some openness in your hip and squeeze your left butt to push that left hip down towards the floor. So lots going on in this stretch. Just pausing, trying to enjoy it. It can be quite intense, this one. Soft breaths to allow your body to relax. Okay, now release the stretch. Hands go back down, find that plank position. So take your right foot back. Be strong in your plank. So pushing the ground away, finding firmness throughout your body. Now you can either pause here or you can shift the weight into the right hand and right foot and try tapping your right shoulder. And then same thing on the other side, left hand, left foot, tap the left shoulder. Woo! And you'll find out which side is stronger than the other. So you're aiming for minimal movement, and I'm definitely a little bit weaker on my left side. Now let's turn this into a thigh plank. So right hand, right foot down, twisting to the left. Raising your left hand up. Now you can either pause here or you can try lifting your top leg if you want to make it a little bit harder. And then find your plank. Once again, balance issues today. Let's go over to the left side, hand up. And again, if you want to raise your top leg, you can do. Makes it a little bit more wobbly so you engage your muscles a little more. Come back to your plank. Just drop down to your knees, drop down to your chest. Let's stretch out your pec. Oh, I got my heart rate up a little. So you're going to stretch your right arm out to the side at 90 degrees. You're going to turn onto your right side. As you do this, try and draw your right chest forward so you get a little bit more stretch on that shoulder. Now you can pause in this position, or if you've got the movement in your body, you can bend your top leg, place the foot on the floor for a bit of support. Your left fingers can just drive your body back to encourage that stretch in your right shoulder and right pec, or you can have the option of taking your hand behind. Now the idea is taking the hand behind is to open up through this right shoulder. So if your shoulder is dropping, you're better off with a hand on the floor. If you've got openness, then by all means take the hand behind. So many instructions. Taking a few breaths just to soften the pose and then releasing back to your belly. Let's do the other side. So left arm out to 90 degrees. Shift yourself over into the left hand side and draw your left chest forward. Now you can stay on your side, or like before, you can bend the top leg if you feel that that helps you. I'm a little bit tighter on this side, so personally it feels better for me to remain on my side. And the same thing with the hand. You can either use your right fingers just to gently push the weight back, or if your hand can come behind and you can keep your shoulder rolling back, your hand can come behind. So just experiment, see what works best for yourself. Again, a few softer breaths to allow that left shoulder to relax and release a little. And then return back to your belly. Now bring your forearms flat onto the floor, lift yourself up into a bit of a sphinx position. From here, I'd like you to squeeze your glutes, drive down into your pubic bone. Imagine you're drawing your hands back towards your feet and use those actions to roll your shoulders back, lift your chest and get a little bit of movement in your upper back so you can feel your shoulder blades engaged. Release yourself down. Let's try that one more time. So with an inhale, you're gently lifting up. You're drawing your hands towards your feet. That's the action that engages your shoulder blades. Squeeze your glutes, press down firmly into your pubic bone, and you may find that your elbows want to lift as you start to get a little bit more openness. And release yourself down, hands by your chest. Push yourself back into a regular child's pose. So your big toes come together, your bum comes to your heels. Your knees can be a little bit wider this time as you stretch your arms forward. Allow your belly to relax, your chest to relax.
and your head to maybe come to the floor or to a height if you need a prop for your head. And just see if you can push your body weight back to your heels so you can get that sense of length in your lower back, but at the same time reach into your fingers to get that stretch through the side body. Couple of breaths again to soften. And then we're going to do the same thing, repeating on the left hand side. So when you're ready, lift yourself up, find your down dog once more. So taking your hips high, finding that length through your spine. You maybe find that you're moving a little bit more freely now. Now placing your right foot more centrally, take your left leg up towards the ceiling. Push the ground away, feel and find that length and stretch through both legs. Bend your left leg, take your foot towards the right as you turn your chest towards the left. You might even peek underneath your armpit. Now we're going to come forward into a plank and take left knee to right elbow. So as you come forward into your plank, add that little bit of a twist, tap your elbow, go back into your scorpion type position. And again, knee to right elbow. Have that little twist, find that strength through your arms and through your obliques. Last time, twisting to the right and back to your scorpion. Okay, now just take that leg into a single leg raise and then bring it forward into a lunge with a helping hand if you need it. Right hand on the floor, left hand to ceiling, stretching into those fingers, pushing away into your right heel, finding that openness in your body. Now you can bring your hand down, take your left foot wide and see where we can go into a lizard position. You may want to stay upright, squeeze your right glute, drive that right hip to the floor, and you should feel a stretch in your right hip flexor and some opening around your left hip. For those that have a bit more mobility, you might find the floor awesome equipment. And again, use your exhalation. The more you can soften that exhalation, release, let go, your body's nervous system will just start to chill a little. Okay, hands find the floor once more. Drop your back knee. Just get yourself more into a 90-degree position with right toes tucked. Now interlace your hands, roll your shoulders back, find that openness in your chest. Squeeze your right glute and push that right hip flexor forward so you've got a tilt in your pelvis. You want to take it a little bit deeper, you can lean back slightly, find a little more openness in this gentle back bend. And then bring yourself back upright. Left foot goes wide once more, right hand goes wide. Stretch that right leg back and see if you can pick the foot up and find the foot in some way or another. Roll the left shoulder back. Push the left knee gently to the side. Squeeze your right glute as you drive that right hip a little closer to the floor. Again, as mentioned before, it can be a strong stretch, this one. There's lots going on. So just pause, find that softness in your breath, which can be a little bit trickier in these poses. Okay, and then release. Find your plank position, so hands are strong. Step back, find that position where you're pushing the floor away, glutes are slightly squeezed, and you've got strength through your body. Transfer the weight to the right and see if you can tap right shoulder. Transfer the weight to the left, see if you can tap left shoulder, one more on each side. As minimal movement as you can. And then let's go to a right side plank. So find your side plank, and if you want to raise your leg to engage your right glutes a little more, you can do. Back to a normal plank. Let's go to a left hand side plank. And again, if you want to raise your top leg, you can do. Plank once more. Back into a down dog this time. So just find that length through your spine. Maybe get a little bit of movement just to release anything that feels a little bit tight still. And then this time, just walk your hands back towards your feet. I'm going to find a bit of a forward fold. So you can bend your knees to begin with. Direct your belly towards your thighs. Have your hands down to the floor underneath your shoulders. And the aim for this one is to get length in your spine. So really think long spine, shoulders rolling back, but that sense of your seat bones trying to lift to the ceiling. So it's more about lengthening out your spine. Yes, you'll feel a little stretch in your hamstrings, I'm sure.
Then we'll make it more about hamstrings. So start to straighten your legs. Now if you're tight in your hamstrings and you can't comfortably reach the floor, then bring your hands to your shins, straighten your legs, still aiming for a stretch through your spine, but now we should hopefully be feeling it a little bit more in hamstrings. If you're not, then bring your hands a little lower. Once more, take a bend, find that length in spine, lifting the seat bones, shoulders rolling back. And then once more, straightening the legs fully. So hands can be on the floor or they can be on your legs. Wherever you can happily stay and hold that hamstring stretch without your hamstrings screaming. And then again, take a little bend, and this time bend more deeply down into a squat position. So squats are going to be different for each of us, okay? So yes, you're aiming to take your bum as low as you can, but if that's not you at the moment, you can be a little bit higher, you can even be sat on something. And often the position of your feet can make a difference. So sometimes having your toes turned out more can make life easier. Have a little play around with that. And do encourage some movement into your feet, your ankles, maybe just gently pushing the hips out, sorry, the knees out to the side to open up through those hips. And then let's see if you can take your left arm on the inside of your left leg, your right arm opposite direction. Your aim is to reach into both sets of fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades, get some openness through your chest as you push that left knee to the side, just gently so you feel that left hip. And then let's swap sides, same thing on the other. So right arm presses gently against the right knee to drive that right hip out as you squeeze your shoulder blades together and find that openness in your chest. And then release, hands come back down to the floor. Start to bring yourself back into a forward fold. You can straighten up your feet now if that's a bit more comfortable. And then just roll yourself all the way up to standing. Feet can still stay about hip distance apart. Sweep your arms out to the side, take a reach up to the ceiling. Reach into your fingers strongly, maybe looking up to your fingers if that feels okay on your neck. How tall can you make yourself? And then sweeping the arms back down. Okay, from this position, you're going to do a little bit of a roll down. So you're going to tuck your chin towards your chest. Start to round in your shoulders, a bit like what we do at our desks. Start to round through your mid-back. Start to round through your belly area and your lower back as you start to come down. So you're just gently rolling through your spine. As you start to bend forward, if your hamstrings are tight, by all means bend your legs. And just roll yourself down until your hands find the floor. Maybe take a little bit of a sway. And then we're going to take that back up. So push strongly with your feet. Squeeze your glutes and slowly start to round yourself back up. So everything stays rounded. You're squeezing your belly in. And then you're coming all the way up to the top. As your head lifts, roll your shoulders back. Stretch down into your hands, find that openness in your chest. Now we're just going to roll down. So tuck your chin again. Find that roundness in your shoulders, that roundness in your upper back. Gently, carefully, slowly rolling all the way back down. When you find the floor, once more, bend yourself down into your little squat. And see if you can either carefully sit yourself down to the floor quietly, or you can take your hands behind and lower yourself. Okay, I'm just going to shuffle myself forward. Ooh, I think I just caught my microphone, apologies. For the next one, feet are going to be flat. Fingers even, are going to point towards your feet. Roll your shoulders back, get that openness in chest. So we're combating that action of rounding at our desks. Now you're going to drive the floor away with your feet and your hands, squeeze your butt and lift your hips nice and high. So you should feel this openness around your shoulders. You should feel a nice stretch through the front of your body, but the back of your body is working hard. So your hamstrings are working, your glutes are working, your shoulders are working. And then slowly release yourself back down. Take a pause. We'll do that one more time, okay? So roll your shoulders back to begin with. Take an inhale, push the ground away, lift your hips nice and high. How high can you get your hips? Try and get yourself nice and level. Imagine you're going to place a glass of water on your belly. And then release yourself back down. Now you can stay with that pose one more, or you can straighten your legs and do the same thing. A little bit stronger, a little bit more about your hamstrings this one. So hands are in the same position. Start, shoulders roll back, chest lifting. Push the ground away, lift your hips high, stretch away through your toes, be strong through your shoulders. It's a real toughy pose, that one. I find it extremely hard, but really good. Now we're going to lay down onto your backs into a bridge position. And from here, we're going to do a little glute raise, but I do want you to go fairly shallow in your raise. So don't raise right up onto your shoulders. Just tuck your pelvis under so your bum starts to lift off the floor. Lift your hips off the floor, but don't go too high. So when you're in this lower position, you should feel it more in your glutes and a little bit in your hamstrings, okay? Now, just feel balanced in your feet, and you're going to put the weight into your right foot, and you're going to just carefully raise your left foot off the floor without much movement. Then the left foot goes down, the right foot lifts. And the aim is you're going to stabilize through your glutes, your hips, and your hamstrings as you just slowly and carefully march your feet. Now, in this position, you tend to feel it more in your glutes. You will feel your hamstrings, but I tend to find it more in my glutes. If you want to make it a bit more hamstringy, just experiment by taking your feet a little bit further away and bringing it more onto your heels. So just have a little play. See if that changes it up for you. See where it feels harder. I'm starting to get a little bit of a wobble now in my legs and in my voice. Let's do one more each side. One more left. And then slowly roll yourself down. And bring your knees towards your chest. Give your knees a little bit of a hug. Maybe have a rock from side to side. And maybe do some circles one way. Taking a few softer breaths and some circles the other way. And then let's just take a little bit of a supine twist. So stretch your left leg out, draw your right knee towards your chest, squeezing that knee in, and then you're going to drop that knee over to the left and stretch away with your right hand. So you can just gently guide your right knee a little closer to the floor as you reach your way strongly into your right hand. Should feel really nice. Twist through your spinal muscles, through your hip. Again, using that exhalation to find a little bit of softness and a little bit of release if you have tension in your body. And then easing out of that stretch, let's draw both knees in once more. Hug the left knee, stretch the right leg out. Hug that left knee a little bit tighter. And then direct the left knee over to the right as you stretch away into your left hand. Just gently easing that left leg down as you reach your way into your left fingers. Again, just using your breath as a tool to release and soften. Really trying to let go of any tightness or tension, particularly in your spinal muscles. And then just with care, easing out, rolling yourself fully onto your back, stretching both legs out. Maybe just take your hands over your head. Take one final stretch from fingers to toes. And then release your arms down by your body. Palms to the ceiling, shoulders released away from your ears. Let your feet go a little wider. Encourage that release through your ankles, the whole of your legs. Maybe bring a wiggle through your body if that helps you to soften. And just find that sense of sinking into your mat. And can you connect to your breath once more and find a softness with your breath? Just a light, soft inhale and a light, soft
breaths to let go through your body. All the way from your toes, through your legs, through your trunk. Each and every muscle releasing, becoming a little bit heavier as your body sinks into your mat. Also encourage a softness in your face. So see that there's no tension in your forehead, your eyebrows. Just let your tongue rest in the floor of your mouth as you focus on your breath. Now you can by all means stay for a little bit longer, or you can start to deepen your breath a little. Maybe bring movement into your fingers and your toes. And then just bending your knees, grounding your feet to the floor. Carefully rolling over to your right hand side and just staying there for a moment. And then carefully releasing yourself back up. Maybe bringing yourself back to where we started in that easy cross-legged position. Placing your hands on your legs, roll your shoulders back, find that openness in your chest. And as you return to your desk, maybe just thinking about some of these things we did in class, counteracting that